Hello and welcome back. This is the Gamer 2.0. Today we're going to be continuing on with Thousand Arms. So, finally done with all the grinding that I had to do to get all the dateable characters up to level 10. The only thing I'm going to do before I get straight back into the story is I just want to check and see the progress of the rusty weapons. See, if at all, they are now ready now that I've basically got a full another hour of playtime in the game. So we're going to run back, check the very first one, because if the very first one is done, by the time I run through the other dungeons, it should all be ready, and then I can also drop off the other 3 rusty items that I have. Alright, let's see here. I swear I've run through this one dungeon way too many times. And now, I don't care if character levels up, if we do a whole bunch of MP, because at this point, it doesn't really matter. I guess we can put Sudina in the front. That's just because, she got a new special ability that we can check out. So, I'm not really 100% sure what I'm supposed to be doing to get Nelsha more outfits. Just because she's only had the 3, and even though I went through and I got a whole bunch of characters up to max intimacy, she has not verifies with fake, which is evil spirit. She has not gotten a special attack. So I'm not sure really what's up with that. If it's like
redeem thy spirit!
2K, alright, not bad. She has not gotten any type of special attack introductions. I don't know if that's because all the characters only get like 3 special attacks, or there's something else other than that. So, yeah, because it's 3. 3. 3. He's got 4. But I think he had Stormbinder and Twister Blade at the beginning, so D-Cyclone and Tornado Voice were the 2 that he actually got added on top of it. And then he's only got the 2, plus the extra 1 that I could have given him from Vitalia, so that would have been 3. Because yeah, she's only, but she's got like, hers has like a whole bunch of extra space below, like it could possibly have like maybe 3 more. Whereas if I go to So Dina, she has only like one more slot. So I'm not sure how I'm supposed to get the additional special attacks for Nelsha, just because she doesn't really seem to get them from leveling up any of the other characters when it comes to like leveling up their intimacy. But if that's also the case, then when I use the warp command on the overworld, the third page has a lot of empty space. So I don't know if that means that it's supposed to be filled out, or if that's supposed to look like that. Because if it's supposed to be filled out, then that means that we've still got quite a few different places to go. And we're basically not like super close to the end. There's probably about like 3 or 4 more dungeons at least before getting to the end. But that's only if like everything needs to be like completely filled out. Like Musa, where Musa has 4 special abilities and they go from the top all the way down to the bottom of the menu. Which, if that's the case, then I might have missed some special attacks for the girls by leveling up Sodina and Weena and Kylene and Nelsha all up to like level 6 before checking to see if their abilities gave anything to any other characters before that level. Which, if that's the case, we do know that we can go down in intimacy rating, but I really don't want to go back to like level 1 for Sodina, level 1 for Weena, level 1 for Nelsha and Nelsha and Kylene, level 1 for Palma, because that's like basically like all of the like beginning characters I would have to go back down to level 1 for, and then if I wanted to get them back up to max level, then I would have to go back and do an updates to get them all the way back up to max level. That would be like way too much at this point. Which, if I would have known that each level provided specific things for specific characters, I probably would have just waited until we were at this point to do like just like a huge dating spree, where I would just have everyone at level 1 defeat Shaft, because Mice's abilities are not based on intimacy level. So since his abilities are not based on intimacy level, I would have just basically gotten him to level up to the point where he could just be like standing out in the front doing all the damage and everything, and the girl just kind of supported from the back. Although like the healing aspect would have been a much more difficult situation to be in, especially for like a lot of the later fights. I would have had to spend like a lot more money, but I would have had a lot more MP just kind of like saved up. But then at that point, like I would have made sure that I would have gotten every single character, every single ability that they specifically give to all the characters. Yeah, that would have definitely been a bit of a rough time to do that. Alright, back here again. Back to the Sacred Altar. Let's see where we're at. I mean, that looks like it's pretty much done. I don't know how much more it can be purified or what it's supposed to look like being purified. I don't know if it's supposed to like shine or something of that nature. But again, I don't know if it's supposed to like change the name before you take it. Kind of want to like save and check. So I'm gonna save the game, run back, check by taking the weapon. If it still remains the rusty axe, then I can try to put it back and continue the fortification process. And if the fortification starts back at like the complete pitch black, then I can just reset the game. Alright, so I think that was Formosa. Yeah, because no, it just says rusty axe. And it's like way worse than his regular weapon. Okay, we're on the Claymore. And try fortifying rusty axe again. Okay, yeah, so it still keeps its progress. Alright, but we still have some time in the game before well, at least, again, if like menus need to be completely filled out, we definitely still have some time before the game's over, because there's a few more locations that I'll have to go to, possibly another dungeon or two, before I've basically gotten to the final boss. Should be fine. And I mean, like, all the characters are at least like level 75, so we shouldn't really have too much of an issue. Pretty much like doing anything at this point in the game. Just because we're almost at the point where like level doesn't really matter. Just because like enemies will attempt to do enough damage to kind of like either do status effects to the party or find other ways to like whittle down resources rather than just be kind of like HP sponges. Like the wood creatures that look kind of like cactuses. Rather than attacking your HP, they'll drain you of MP instead, or not MP, EP, your energy points. So they have different ways of like reducing other resources. Also like the ability to do things like AoE spells where it attacks the entire party, so that you can't just reliably use like a single target heal. You'll have to use like cure all or heal all. Because like in the beginning of the game, it's all about, you know, like targeting the main character that's in the front line. That's it. They just target the front character. But as you go through, it starts to become like, well, now we're gonna do like AoE effects, we're gonna do status effects and things like that. Because like if it's a status effect and it only affects the frontline character, you can kind of keep them healthy with items and stuff in the backline. And then if it's like attack all characters, then it's a little bit more difficult because it's like, well, now I have to worry about the health of my back line, as well as the health of my front line. So it's a little bit more difficult to like kind of like keep pace with everything. But now that I have basically all the spells that I can get, other than the ones that I can only get at like level 1 through 5, for Nelsha and Kylene. Yeah, Kylene was the one I also got like level 5, level 6, like right off the bat. So, other than like their open spells, which shouldn't be anything honestly too crazy, just because like that was like the low intimacy stuff. They probably did have the special attacks though, especially for like Sodina, Sodina and Weena probably had special attacks at lower levels for characters that you get much later in the game, which is a little bit annoying because I wish that you could kind of go back and either like select the level of intimacy to do the upgrades. So that way you can basically say, okay, like give me the upgrades for Sodina when she was level intimacy level 2, and forge with that, and then like do that, or like give you all the abilities at once. But I mean, like if they didn't want to like list all the abilities all at the same time, then I can understand being like, okay, well I'm gonna use this girl to do this level of intimacy to apply this spell to all the characters. And so that way, characters like Weena would have, well no, like Weena you got early enough to where you still had pretty low intimacy with Sodina. But Kylene, where like if you had done like any type of like dates or anything and you've gotten Sodina past the opening levels of intimacy, then that would kind of be beneficial, because I could go and I could give Kylene heal plus, or it's a larger single target heal. That way I don't have to completely rely on Sodina for healing. Same thing for Nelsha. Nelsha doesn't really have heal plus, she just has the heal all. She also doesn't have regular, which at this point regular heal doesn't do anything. It's like 28 HP. Even as a level of like 80 characters, can be like maybe at the most like 40 HP, which a single one of Sodina's cheers would heal. So it's like healing without even having to use EP. And now we've got the heal all that basically just makes it to where you get heal plus for all your characters. Alright. So as I was saying, I've still got like 4 more areas, and that's if there's not like a whole nother page. But I probably have to go and get a rocket ship. And that's probably going to be a whole dungeon in and of itself. And then maybe, well, a rocket ship or like a teleportation circle or something to get me to the moon. And then I either need to like get away to Power Red, or get away to Power It, or like have like the opening dungeon before the final boss. Alright. So last time we were in Miskatoniya for story reasons. We had a little interaction with all the girls where they kind of like talked about how they felt about mice. So I don't know if that's going to have another situation like that now that Mice has gone through and defeated Shaft, basically got the Emperor to flee to the moon. Do just a quick rest up. I'm gonna save.
Get up, mice!
So quick rest up, quick save, and then we can go and talk to Natalia, not for dating purposes, but just for story purposes. Well, wish I would have known that I could just fortify a weapon here. Definitely not doing the katana, because that's just a weapon for Soshi. So I guess the knife for Sonia. That looks pretty cool. Also, I never really considered that possibly like the later altars that you get could possibly refine the weapons at a faster rate. Just because like I don't know if the game would like realize like, hey, or the programmers would put in like, hey, you know, like this is probably going to be done later in the game, so it would require you to use less time to fortify a weapon than the one at the very beginning of the game. I'm just assuming that I need to head up here because I know that this is like what we were talking about before leaving Dianova. So Natalia says, I'm glad you returned safely, mice. I see the Emperor wanted to return to the moon. The moon is not yet bright, but when it is, the end of the world is nigh. I says, isn't there something we can do? Are we helpless to stop it? Natalia says, to the north of here is a place called Star Plateau. Our salvation lies within. Shall we go, mice? So I'm gonna say, of course, Natalia. Well, then let's go.
Mice, I'm sorry. I didn't expect the Emperor to become a god by using the primordial flame.
What do you mean, God?
Long ago, when we learned of the Emperor's desire, we divided and hid the primordial flame within the 5 sacred altars. We thought the Emperor would eventually die, as he was human. Jabba left a message when he died, as if to intentionally expose the hiding places of the 5 flames to the Emperor. Honestly, I was shocked, but I now know why he did it. The Emperor's desire was to collect the 5 flames to become a god, not just to rule the world. The Emperor even transformed his body into a machine to lengthen and achieve his goal. Jabal knew this. That's why he led you to the Emperor. He knew you would be the ones to challenge the Emperor.
But the Emperor has the flames now.
Even if we kept the flames hidden, the Emperor would have found them eventually, as he has eternal life. But our lifetime is limited. Our clan will decline and eventually vanish. Jabal decided to place the fate of the world in your hands. It was the right decision. Mice, the 6th sacred altar is this way. It's our only hope.
Let's see here. Where exactly are we? So this is a place that I could have possibly reached with Lincoln. Let's see here. Yeah, so Star Plateau is now added to the list. So I can fast travel back here. I'm just kind of checking around to see if there's any other spots. I mean, it's kind of ballsy to put the sacred altar like literally like right at the doorstep of Alright, so we did have wind dragons, now we've got blizzard dragons. Let me guess, this is probably going to give me like 1,000 MP for killing it. Yeah, does 0 damage. Dies in 2 hits. So it's about like a good 2 enemy fight just for them, that one. Just gonna kind of continue checking up here. It's just an empty plot. It's over here. Two Scullies. These guys also die in 1 hit. MP. Would have been a little bit better to kind of grind out here. And Sedina has 999 EP. So I think she's got the max. Which is kind of fitting because she is like a primary like magic user. For like heals and stuff. So a lot of extra space. Especially if this just like doesn't need any defense. Or this is just like all extra space that has nothing attached to it, and I have to question like why even have this part of the map at all? Why not just make this like ocean? I can go like really far, just like out of my way, just like on this like small strip of land here. Shinzo man. Still dies in one hit. I mean, he looks pretty big and imposing, but kind of sucks all that imposingness out of it when he dies in one hit. So, on the cape here. Yeah, nothing over here. Just kind of seems like a rather large waste if like this is all just empty, unused space. I don't know what that was. Maybe that was supposed to be him dodging, but he can't move, so he just kind of sat there. Alright, yeah. So, big ol' nothing out here. I don't know why they give you the ability to come like all the way out into like the edge of this area here when there ain't even nothing for you to do out here. Alright, start right well, I guess like I do see like a little tiny speck of green, so maybe that is like a location that I can go to. I'm just gonna check that out. Just real fast. If it doesn't turn out to be anything, we'll just head back in and continue running through the Star Plateau. I'm not sure if that speck of green that I saw is oh, actually did some damage there. I mean, not enough damage to really like warrant being worried about it, but yeah, his basic attacks do nothing. I guess I can have one of the girls throw up a heal all. So I guess if I was still like trying to build up MP, the Blizzard Dragons actually wouldn't be terrible because that's only a single enemy and it provides about 300 MP per fight for a single enemy, meaning that if I use Magical on it, it jumps up to 600. So I mean, like that would actually be a decent way to grind. Again, I was not aware that I was even going to have this chance. I didn't know if they were going to be like, yep, this ancient ruin at the bottom of the Sacred Altar actually is a direct portal to the moon. So, there you go, straight to the moon. This game definitely has like a lot of stuff for you to be able to grind, including things like you can grind out kisses for Smoochie, grinding out MP and intimacy levels for the girls for all the abilities. It's like it's got a lot of stuff that you can just kind of grind out for, which I I'm not like not a huge fan of like having to grind for that stuff. Like if they had like side content that you can do, I guess they kind of do like this. But I just like really don't enjoy gambling mechanics like in games because I mean like with games like you've already got enough RNG that kind of goes into the base level game, and then adding like casinos and stuff like that into the game. Alright, so I guess I can't head there. Alright, well that's fine. So we just warp back. Go. And head right in. But yeah, it's just because I believe like the casino had stuff that you can use as like kind of universal gifts, but I'd rather not have to like utilize the casino just because a lot of times like it's not really something that you can kind of do like super efficiently. It's stuff that you kind of have to really just like sit down and grind out the money to actually start it up, and then once you actually get it, a lot of times like you don't really have control over whether you win or lose the games. If you can control whether you win or lose the games a little bit more than just the rock paper scissors game where you can select whatever you want and then the computer just selects like what wins against you. Yeah, 46 damage. Terribly large amount. It does die to a crit. I don't know if it dies to a regular attack though. But this is definitely a nice background. Decent amount of MP. Okay, just an empty spot there. Elixir EX. Yeah, so I believe my characters are kind of at the point where, of course, it's a dumb machine. I believe that a lot of the characters are at the point where they're just kind of not really gonna have to worry about taking a whole bunch of damage for attacks. Yep. Alright. Poisoning paralysis. Yeah, gotta use the cure all. Of course they've got to be annoying with it. I guess I'm gonna go back to question marks. Nope, I managed to actually get a crit on him before. He got to his mystery attack. I mean, like, if you're gonna waste my time, at least waste my time with, like, actual fights. Like, with, like, these creatures. Just kind of look like, some, like, Ultra's monstrosity. I'd rather fight these than fighting the Dawn Machine. Yeah, this, doing damage to me, not the big issue. Putting my character to sleep that does the primary attacking, kind of an issue. So yeah, this place is probably the best place for me to grind out MP. Wish I would have known that before. Trying to grind MP with the area in front of Miss Cantonia. Alright, so single attack does not take this guy out. But I do know that a single crit will. Of course, I picked the path with the 2 treasure chests, Elixir EX, and a gold necklace. Gold necklace is just an item that I can give to a girl for bonus intimacy points. Not really useful anymore now that the girl's up to level 10. Yeah, so Nelsha doesn't even have heal plus, so yeah, if I want to heal plus, I have to go with Lena or Selena. I think maybe even Kylena has heal plus. That's 700 points of health. But I went... Oh no, I didn't finish going down, that's why. I was like, wait, I just came from here, how am I back here? Alright. Yeah, not like the best place. Like, if you're like out of sight, I don't think that the game should like throw a random battle at you, just because, I don't know if like I'm stuck on something behind the rock, and it's getting ready to throw a random encounter at me. Just because the game like sticks for just a second before it starts the battle. And because of that, and also the game does just kind of like get you stuck on like random corners in geometry. So like your character will just like absolutely stop moving. So it like having like a random battle like while you're out of sight, you're just not sure if you're like stuck on something or what. Alright, another sacred altar. And looks like we got someone standing over there. I do want to check this out, but first I want to go and check the other path. Let's see if I possibly missed something. So, just head back down here. Nope, looks like it might just be to a dead end. Okay, so he has about 600 HP. Because I did like 599 at one point, and that didn't kill him. So I guess like between 600 and 650 HP. Yep, just an empty spot. Alright. Well, now I know. I don't have to worry about having to come back and check for items. Alright, so let's go ahead and talk to this mystery person here.
Jabba?
Oh, it's Jabba.
Master? Is it you?
Jabba, you're alive!
I'm pretty sure he's just a ghost. I don't think that you appear see-through as an alive person.
I am not Jabal. I am the guardian of the sixth sacred altar. I protect the holy flame until it passes to my successor. Jabal made the sacred altar our last hope against the Emperor. Now, I must see if you are fit to wield the power of the holy flame. Prepare yourselves.
Alright, so I guess this is a boss fight. Well, yeah, we're gonna keep it as it is. And I'm just gonna start summoning. And I'll also prepare a heal ult just in case the Guardian Spirit decides to use an AoE attack. Just kind of hanging out until he stops defending. Can't really read the numbers. I think that was 1800. All right. Yeah, it might be a little over leveled. Got 2 summons off before he could even attack.
You have defeated me. This means you walk with the elemental spirit. You have surpassed Jabal's power, so I bestow upon you the power of the holy flame. The flame of darkness burns feebly on the moon. It is this same flame that the clan of darkness once fought over. The Master lamented this ugly struggle, so he banished the flame. The Emperor wants to rekindle the flame of darkness with the flame of the light. My child, you will soon be reawakened as I have.
What?
You will understand when the time comes. Now, prepare yourselves and wish. wish to be carried to the moon. Sadina, mice, take care of each other. Believe in each other.
So Musa says, this is the moon. Sadina says, the sacred altar of darkness should be around here. Let's hurry, mice. Alright, cannot warp. Cannot save. So I guess this is not an overworld area. I can save here, though. Random encounter because I pressed the sword. Okay, it's a dumb issue. Nope, it's just a annoying encounter. Just prepare a Kuro. Yep. And of course. Alright, so he put himself to sleep. This is a strong Damashi. Some type of core attacks for me to actually kill. So, who enters these ruins? We are ancient memories. We are the minds of the ancients. We are of the darkness. All life began here, in the distant past, separated into two clans. We are one, darkness. We manipulated elemental power better than our counterparts. That was our pride. Acquiring greater power, it was ecstasy. Our ancestors forged the swords as best as they knew, as they believed it was their fate. Uncovering secrets and utilizing elemental power was our reason for existence. We believed that using the holy flame bestowed upon us by our god was our mission. One day, an evil blacksmith with the support of the dark blacksmiths tried to become a god. He tried to acquire all the elemental power in the moon, the remnants of the primordial flame. He claimed himself emperor, war ensued, and the moon was brought to the verge of destruction. His power exceeded that of a god. He began acting deranged. Nobody could stop him. The blacksmith of the dark side followed the emperor, using his power so irresponsibly pleased them. Wary from the war that had no end, a band of these blacksmiths revolted. They were the best blacksmiths the dark side had to offer. Alas, they were powerless against the Emperor. In response for the revolt, these blacksmiths were ostracized. A prodigy of the dark blacksmith escaped to the land of the light, whatever became of that child. The Emperor turned the moon into the land of desolation, but we, the clan of darkness, had created him. The Emperor's existence, yes, his existence, led to the destruction of the darkness. The Emperor attempted to acquire the elemental power. He invaded the land of the light to collect the holy flames. He believed that when the holy flames were rejoined, he would become a god. But he took all the other flames other than the one that mice had not collected. Because Schmidt had come in and stole that flame before mice could use it. Okay, so looks like these guys kind of die into bigger creatures. I mean, that's kind of an interesting mechanic, I guess, because you kill the smaller creature, it becomes like a larger creature that's more powerful. I don't know, this is giving me like a lot of like Star Wars vibes at this point, because we've got like the Force Ghost with the Guardian of Jabal, wanting to test to see if Mice is worthy of like using the last flame. Classy Joker. It's still giving me date items here in the moon. But yeah, so like you have stuff that then you have like directly like the dark blacksmiths like being referred to as the dark side. Definitely gives like some Star Wars vibes. I mean, and that's, you know, like beyond the obvious, like the Dark Emperor and the Evil Emperor. It actually feels like it's like, well, there's, you know, the light side and the dark side, the good and the evil, which lots of stories have like the light as being like a positive force of good, whereas the darkness is like a force of evil and destruction. But then they really kind of like play into it kind of hard with like Jabal dying at the beginning of the game and then becoming a Force Ghost that guards the sacred altar and the sacred flames. And then the Dark Blacksmiths created or used the Dark Flame to benefit themselves to their own ends. And they became prideful, which again is one of those things that does reflect on the dark side of the Force, where it's like passion, power, like heavily reliance on emotions, just like a lot of that stuff. And like it again kind of gives me like a very mirrored aspect to like Star Wars itself. Take these creatures, for example. They have creatures that literally die and become more powerful. kill the small form, it becomes like a larger form. So literally, you strike them down and they become more powerful than you could have imagined that they would have been as like their little tiny form. And it's just like a direct aspect taken from the Star Wars films, at least. I have not read any of the books. With the Emperor turning himself into a machine, that kind of also points to Darth Vader, just because Darth Vader was more machine than man at the point where he like more or less became kind of like the superpower that he was. Nelsha says, what is this? Nelsha feels strange. So she says, I feel an overwhelming power in the air. Could it be the Emperor? When it says, I think we're getting close. This time we'll get him. Kylian says, I'm getting nervous. What is this weird feeling anyway? Sonia says, we're almost at the sacred altar. It's the holy flame of the Dark Clan. We must hurry. We must get there before the Emperor uses the power of the light. Let's go, mice. This is it. So we have let's go or wait, let's we need to repair or we need to prepare. Yeah, we're gonna prepare first. Do we have a save down machine anywhere around here? Does not look like it. So I need to go back to that save Damashi that we had like 2 screens back. The thing is like Star Wars doesn't really have like going to places of sacred power to really like gain power. It's more about like a specific like rebellion against an empire. So I guess that's kind of different. Although you are using the power of the sacred altars to fight against the empire. So in essence, you are kind of fighting against the Dark Empire, I guess. But you're not like leading like a military fighting force of a rebellion. You're basically like a group of like 6 teenagers. It is instant death. Of course it is. Which is why we have the Revive Plus spell. And you know what? You stop. top kind of reacts like poison does. Like a combination of like poison and paralysis. But yeah, instant death magic, never fun. It is never something fun for the player to get to experience. Depending on like how frequently it actually works. So like if it's something that the enemies cast like really frequently, yeah, that's super annoying. If it's something that like the enemies like cast frequently, but it has like a 10% chance of success, much more manageable. But yeah, I am not a fan of. I'm not a fan of like having instant death for the player, just because, especially like when it's an enemy that can do it, because it's like, okay, you can't make any mistake at all. So like, I guess like a good comparison to like instant death, but something that is like still punishing for a player later game, would be something like gravity magic from like Final Fantasy, because the thing is like gravity magic does a percentage of health damage, and with like higher levels of gravity magic, you do more percentage of health, and so like if you get to like end game and you're just like, well, you know, I've got super high defenses to where enemies really kind of can't touch me. Well, they hit you with gravity magic. They're doing a large percentage of health damage to you, whether you want them to or not. I thought that was a save geometry like right here. I mean, like, yeah, you can self-buff, that's fine. Just don't cast instant death on it. Oh, I really hope the final boss doesn't have a bunch of like just like instant death magic. Because if he does, that's gonna be very, very annoying. Yeah, I could have sworn there was a save Damashi earlier than this. Okay, some Lord armor. That's good to pick up. So yeah, because right now we have hard armor, and Lord armor increases nothing. The hard armor is better, because this actually increases speed by 12 points and gives me 10 extra defense, and what is that, 24 extra offense? Yeah. I could go back to using my Dark Sword, having less than 10% of my overall attack power. So that would be a fun thing to try to go and do. I swear, every time I see this guy attack me, he does like critical damage. I swear there was a save down machine like much later after this. Like not having to like run all the way back to the beginning of the moon. I mean, it is like not like a huge issue because I know exactly like where I need to go to head to the final fight. But it is annoying that I have to make the entire trip again. It's like basically like run back through this entire dungeon with an enemy that can specifically just straight up just like kill one of your characters. Really frustrated if the game is like oh yeah, so there is a save down machine just before you actually do the fight. We didn't want to put it like in the area where you could say that, hey, I want to prepare, but we're gonna put it just before the fight though, so you have to go like an entire another screen so that you have to be worried about going straight to the boss fight. That would really frustrate me. But that'll do it for this episode. Thank you guys very much for watching. Please feel free to like and subscribe if you so choose, and I look forward to seeing you in the next episode.